Welcome to the Health Hobby Podcast, the place for busy moms searching for simple solutions to weight loss, more energy, better nutrition, fitness, and healthy living time management. I'm your host, Amanda Ford. Stick with me and make health your hobby as I guide you through simple steps and skill-building exercises so you can finally hit those dreamy health and weight loss goals. Take it from me, it's time to kick all those fad diets and quick fix workouts to the curb. It's all about slowing down and finding your very own rhythm of healthy living, because when you find your health, you find your joy. Let's dive in. Hey, welcome back to the Health Hobby Podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Ford. How is everybody doing? At the time of recording this, it is officially Thanksgiving week. It's Sunday before Thanksgiving 2024. I'm feeling the pressure of getting ready for the holidays, but it's so fun and such a joy. Today, we are diving into a super juicy topic. I know so many of you are curious about this. The topic is how to lose belly fat for real. You might want to be like, what do you mean for real? Well, I mean, not a quick fix, not some fancy workout, but the for real way that works every single time. And you might be thinking it's all about the latest diet, intermittent fasting, or the perfect ab workout. It's just always something, right? I want you to stick with me in this episode because I'm gonna spill the real tea today. And here's a spoiler. You already have everything you need to succeed in losing that unwanted belly fat. I know unwanted belly fat is a really important and also a sore subject for women. It's difficult to lose belly fat. This is going to be a juicy episode. And before I get started, though, I want to shout out that this is episode number 10 of the Health Hobby Podcast. That's a big deal for me because a little behind the scenes in the podcast world, hitting episode 10 is a big milestone. Most podcasts don't make it past or to an episode number 10. So I hit number 10, and I guess I should really be celebrating at episode 11, because that means I surpassed the average threshold of a show's lifespan. But I already have a bunch of other episodes in the process of being outlined and researched. So I know that there's so much more to come after episode 10. So I'm celebrating over here, and it's all because of you guys. I am so thankful. And something that's also really fun is I want to shout out that the Health Hobby Podcast has not only reached multiple states in the United States, but all over the globe. I have a wonderful picture of where my listeners are coming from in my analytics software, and it is wild. The United Kingdom, lots of people in Germany. I don't know what's going on in Germany. I probably should connect with one of you guys and see what's going on there. Lots of German listeners, India, Canada, even New Zealand. It's pretty wild, and it feels good to be able to reach the corners of the globe, because that means that my dream and my passion and my mission is coming true. So shout out to everybody wherever you're listening from. And if you're on YouTube, pop down in the comments and let me know where you're listening from. I'm so curious. So hello to everyone, and thank you. And there's so much more coming on the Health Hobby Podcast. I'm just getting started, just getting my podcast feet wet. I have a lot of polishing to do on the podcast, a lot of other great ideas and topics I want to bring up. So it's going to be a fun ride. It's been a lot of work, a lot of learning, and a whole lot of fun. So thank you. And even more, you guys, I have obviously a plethora of topics to talk about, but I want to make sure I'm hitting topics you want right now that are super relevant to you. So don't ever hesitate. Get down into the show notes, send me your questions, send me your topic requests so I can jump right into those needs within a couple weeks or two, or even the same week if I'm able, and really help you to excel your healthy living journey, hit your weight loss goals, find your fitness, and even help polish up your mental health. There's so many just side concerns or questions that people might have, maybe a topic that I've covered that you want me to go deeper on. I won't know unless you tell me. So please, please, please get down into the show description, the show notes. There's a link there. It's always live. You can always pop your questions and your topic request in there. And in fact, I encourage you to, and if whenever something pops into your head, and again, my listeners on YouTube, use the comments. The comments are there. I look at every single one, good or bad, and it's all useful information. So put your questions and topic requests down there. I'd love to hear from each and every one of you because this podcast is for you, my friend. Okay, let's jump in to episode number 10, how to lose belly fat for real. For most of us, the urge to lose belly fat really comes from a vanity perspective, and it's okay, just sit with that. I know that I want to lose belly fat, so this might be similar for you guys, so you can fit in a bathing suit in the summer, or that you just feel confident in the bathing suit. Maybe you have a beautiful dress you want to wear to a wedding. I know for me, when I really had a life-changing experience, was when I put on one of my favorite pair of leggings and I didn't fit in them. And so this is like elastic clothes, you guys. And I was like, whoa, I really need to make a big change. Like I'm gaining a lot of weight. I'm not paying attention to my health. So a lot of times it's clothing driven, but ultimately all that is steered through self-confidence and self-esteem. But we have to think beyond the aesthetics of having less belly fat. And when we get deeper into the purpose of why we want to do something. So when you're listening to my podcast, usually you are most likely someone that has weight loss goals, wants to get into fitness. So why? Yeah, it's going to be one of those probably vanity metrics. Like I want to have a six pack. Well, that's really hard to have a six pack, but you know what I mean? You might want to have a flatter stomach when you go to Mexico and you're going to be in a bathing suit for 2 weeks. I get it. Or you just want to feel good and confident that you've been working on your body. Like maybe you don't have a six pack and you're not at your goal weight, but you feel stronger, you feel fit, you have more energy. You're like, no, this is my body and I've been working hard on this. And you just, you feel good. That is so important. And that's one reason I encourage people to kind of think deeper. Like you just want to feel good ultimately. And we all want to feel good, but let's not forget there are health risks associated with carrying too much belly fat. Excessive abdominal fat can be linked to really serious metabolic conditions, heart disease, diabetes, and even some cancers. So yes, we want to feel good. We want to feel sexy. We want to feel confident in our clothes and just in our own skin. But it's not just about that. Make it about your health. It's not just about the flat belly, you guys. It's about being healthy and living a long, vibrant life. Belly fat in particular is extremely stubborn. It's one of the last places that really shape up when you're on a weight loss journey. And if you're nearing your 40s, you are probably noticing that it's even more challenging to lose weight. You're working out. You might be hitting your meal plan and working out like crazy, but just like the belly fat is not budging. And I hate to break it to you, but it's just the same old song you've probably heard. It's from shifts in your hormones. This can even happen after you have a baby, if you're not in your 40s. So it's just those hormonal shifts that may be causing, or might be one crucial area that's causing you to kind of hold on to excess belly fat. But don't fret. It's not a lost cause. You're not a failure. You aren't doomed to have belly fat forever. I've got you. So I really want you to think about health as a main driver in wanting to lose the belly fat on top of those vanity metrics. But ultimately, your health is what's important. And when we kind of shift our focus away from weight loss and more health driven, we kind of see there's little areas in our life, and I'm going to talk about this later, that need to be tweaked, and the weight loss happens as a result of that. So it's like you get laser focused on your weight loss by looking at other areas of your life instead of just the scale all the time. I also wanted to start out by kind of debunking some myths and kind of circling into what is our culture of how to lose belly fat, because it's a really poor culture. It's negative. It's actually very harmful, if you ask me. But when I search up on the internet how to lose belly fat, I get some pretty wild and quite honestly concerning results. So if you were to Google how to lose belly fat, many times the search results will come up with suggested searches like how to lose belly fat fast, how to lose 20 pounds of belly fat in 2 weeks, or do this one exercise to melt belly fat. And of course, there are a plethora of ads popping up while I'm doing the searches, right? Trying to encourage me or whomever is searching someone to take action on purchasing one of the latest weight loss shakes, fat burner pills, powders, and now we're all fully aware of the GLP-1 inhibitors like Mounjaro and Ozempic, which is injectable medication, which is actually for diabetes, but I'm sure you've heard of it. If you haven't, it's all over the news. You're probably going to hear it now. It also is very effective for weight loss. So let's cut through all of this noise. The answer doesn't lie, you guys, in any of these magic pills, the latest weight loss shake you saw on Instagram, and it's definitely not by doing just one specific exercise. So I've seen so many times, do this one thing, do this one exercise to lose belly fat. That is not truthful in its messaging. Okay, so it's not just one thing, like do 100 crunches a day and you're going to lose 20 pounds of belly fat. That's how this type of stuff is marketed to us. And it gets me really fired up and upset because the solution I'm going to give you is so simple, and the marketing and all the companies out there could be selling this solution and they're not. Get there in a second, but the answer doesn't lie, you guys, in these quick fix things, although like if you were to do, I have to say this, I'm kind of a nerd. If you were to do 100 crunches every single day, that would be very impressive. And you would probably see a shift in the way that your waist is shaped. But you know what I mean? It's not just in one workout and one weight loss shake and one pill and taking one medication a day. And we also can't just say, I'm going to lose belly fat. So that might be funny because the title of this episode is How to Lose Belly Fat for Real. There's no area specific secret for weight loss. And again, the marketing to us is lose weight on your thighs by doing this one thing or drinking this shake, lose weight on your belly by doing this one workout or taking this pill. The mechanism of weight loss affects the entire body. It just may seem like, so with that said, the mechanism of weight loss affects the entire body. It just may seem like you're losing weight in other areas more effectively and more fast than you are your belly. So if you're on a weight loss journey, or maybe you're utilizing one of these shakes to help with supplementing your food, so you're eating, a little bit less a day or whatever, and it's working, but you're like, gosh, I'm still really holding on to this belly fat. It's not ultimately not doing what I thought it was going to do. The belly, it's important to remember this. The belly area is a stronghold for fat, which is ultimately your energy storage. Fat is energy storage. So anything we have saved on our body, it's for energy in case we need it. It's a backup plan. The body really works hard to keep it because of that. It's a safety mechanism if you want to think of it like that. And it kind of makes it easier and kind of takes the pressure off. You're like, gosh, why isn't this working? Well, your body's actually kind of working against you a little bit because it's like, no, we might need this. All right, then so how do we lose this belly fat? How do we lose the weight? And although I said it doesn't come down to one of those popular solutions that is marketed to us all the time, it does come down to a specific process, which I like to call the solution. It is not a pill. It's not a magic powder or injections or the most popular weight loss shake on Instagram or doing a bajillion crunches a day. The answer first lies in your lifestyle choices. And this topic of weight loss through lifestyle adjustments is super important to me. It's one of the reasons I wanted to start coaching women on their weight loss, and one of the keystone reasons why this podcast exists. Part of the struggle for losing weight is that women give in to these quick fixes instead of lifestyle shifts. And the lifestyle shift in particular that I like to call out is taking action on the body's requirement. Yes, it's a requirement for clean food and regular fitness. As women, especially, we are bombarded, and I'd like to say more like preyed on, when it comes to quick fix weight loss solutions, some of which are extremely expensive and have several health risks. All these options that are thrown in our face all fail to provide education around lifestyle for safe weight loss and how to maintain your weight loss after you hit your weight loss goal. So these things might work for the short term, but there's no skill building. There's a huge gap. It's not healthy what they're advertising to you. And I have to admit, I've absolutely tried all of these things. And hey, before I keep going, does anyone remember Hydroxycut? You could buy this stuff at CVS, which is a drugstore here in California. You could buy it at the grocery store pretty much. It was like $60 for a bottle of 30 pills, and it was basically an appetite suppressor. And what it did is it increased your heart rate, and you're not eating. So the two together are hardcore on the body, and essentially you're burning calories with a rapid heart rate, right? Your metabolic processes are sped up with this drug essentially, and poof, you're losing weight. Listen, this stuff was pulled off the market because users were having heart attacks because it was pretty much speed, you guys. And I can attest to how powerful this stuff was because I was taking this and it was working. I almost fainted at work from my heart rate beating so fast. I remember I had to run into the bathroom. I was sweating. I was nauseous. I did lose weight very quickly, but you know what? It was because I wasn't eating. That's no bueno, you guys. And a lot of these other fad solutions are steering young women to just eat nothing. How about this one? How about the cabbage soup diet? So that one was like, if you eat this cabbage soup recipe, which is actually a pretty great recipe. It's a vegetable soup. It's super raw. It's just clean, raw ingredients made into a soup, but it's like, no, you just eat this 3 times a day and you're going to lose weight. A cup or even 2 cups of cabbage soup is barely any calories. Yes, it is full of good, nutritious veggies, vitamins, minerals, vital nutrients, stuff that you need, but it's not enough calories to sustain even just your regular body functions. So yes, you're going to lose weight and you're going to lose it rapidly. That's not the way to do this. How about the cayenne pepper cocktail? Does anyone remember that? There was like this article about Beyonce. It's like, how did Beyonce lose so much weight? Well, so the magazines said that she drank this cocktail and it was like cayenne pepper, maple syrup, lemon juice, I don't know, something else. Disgusting. Think about putting all those things together. And apple cider vinegar. She would take this shot a couple times a day and it would help suppress her appetite, and poof, she lost all this weight. So that was all the rage for some time. Again, encouraging women to eat nothing pretty much. Yeah, of course you're going to lose weight like that, but you're going to get it all back when you start eating like a normal person again. I've personally purchased probably thousands of dollars in weight loss shakes and so-called fat burner pills like I just described. I am not immune to this, and that's why I get so fired up about talking about the smart and healthy ways to lose weight, because weight loss is important. If you need to lose weight, it can make huge impacts on your overall health. Like I said, right when I started the podcast. And the problem with these quick fixes is that they all work for the short term if you follow them, but it's because you're not eating. I wasn't eating when I was doing this stuff. And once you get off of them, your weight just comes rolling back like a firestorm. I just wanted to bring some of those things up. I might have been aging myself with some of the references there, but it doesn't matter. There's still similar and same products on the market to this day. If you open up the internet, it's one of the most advertised products and industry that advertises the most, especially to women, are these quick fix solutions. And it's harmful and scary. And I really want to help steer women away from those, because you were just setting yourself up for more failure. You're setting yourself up to be sick and starved and frustrated and tired, lethargic, ill. That's not what you were looking for. You were looking for more energy, vibrance, weight loss that will maintain, right? It's not in a magic pill, you guys. And something to really keep in mind here as we talk about this, that the real path to weight loss does not include anything that is quick, rapid, or fast. Those are words that you'll see a lot in weight loss marketing. If you read anything that's marketed that way for your weight loss, be cautious. Instead, I want you to flip the script when we think about our weight loss. It's not quick, it's not fast, it's not rapid. Effective weight loss and smart and healthy weight loss for you, my friend, it will require a plan and a whole lot of time and patience. So think of like a slow cooker dinner. It takes like 6 to 8 good, solid, slow, warm hours to make your dinner in the crock pot. And those dinners are so delicious. Think of just like the meat that comes out like in a beef stew. It's just so tender and delicious. The flavors are off the charts. And there's something so powerful about slow pace and taking our time that makes most things in our life much more precious and great. And if we're talking about dinner, delicious. Working towards weight loss in a slow and steady state has significant rewards. So like the weight loss that you've dreamed of. Think of like that person that's you, but like that person in the future that has reached that your dreamiest weight loss goals. I say that all the time. Like this podcast is going to help you reach your dreamiest weight loss goals. And I really, really mean that if you shift your lifestyle in the right way and you steer clear of quick fixes and fad diets. So when we do that, we have to change our actions throughout the day. When we change our actions, we're not only getting to our weight loss goals, but at the same time, you will have revamped your skills around your eating habits. So your weight loss is what, like I call your forever weight loss. So that means like, yeah, you might gain some pounds back here and there, but if that happens, you'll know exactly what to do. You won't need to go to the drugstore and get some really scary pills that are questionable or spend $150 to $200 a month on some shake that may or may not really make you feel great. So I know you're wondering, what is the solution? I get it, Amanda. We need to work on our nutrition. It's not a quick fix solution. I get it. How do we lose the belly fat? Losing belly fat, you guys, and just fat in general comes down to holistic lifestyle shifts. And the ones that I like to call out specifically are having a major focus on your eating routine, emphasis on your daily movement, and tracking your calories to make sure you're in a calorie deficit. That is the solution, period, end of story. And the big kicker in that solution is the calorie deficit. The thing is, most people won't do the work for this. That's why there's so many gimmicks out there, snake oil pills and, fad diets that are going to get you to lose 20 pounds in 2 weeks. That is too fast and not safe. So it's hard work, and 80% of the people won't do the hard work to get really healthy. That's the problem. That's why there's so much junk thrown in our face. But listen, I know you're here listening to this podcast. So that means that I know and I'm confident you're in for the real work that will not only allow you to finally lose belly fat for good, but to revitalize your confidence and overhaul your eating routine forever. I totally believe in you, but I also don't want to sugarcoat anything. The women that you know in your life, including the one that's talking to you right now, me, who have lost significant weight and transformed their lives for the better in all areas, they had to dig deep into their lifestyle. It was hard for them. Ask them. If they say it was easy, I wouldn't believe them. So it can be easy, but that's after fine-tuning a routine. Lots of failures, trials and errors, full focusing on getting better in routines and rhythms of healthy actions instead of how fast they could lose 25 pounds. Okay, we got pretty serious there for a second, but I get passionate about this topic, you guys, and I really want to encourage smarter, healthy weight loss that takes time, it's paced, you have a little grace with yourself, because the slow cooker method will help you and will benefit you down the road when we're talking about weight loss and especially losing belly fat. So, all right, let's dig into this solution. When I said weight loss comes down to this solution, I said weight loss will come from a major focus on your eating routine, an emphasis on daily movement, and tracking your calories to make sure you're in a calorie deficit. Let's start with the calorie deficit part. This can be the hardest part, and a lot of times it's the most complicated for people to really tap into. And the cool thing is tracking and the emphasis on daily movement, those two play into maintaining a calorie deficit. So the calorie deficit is really where we want to focus. And the good news is, you guys, it's not complicated. It's simple math. Some of you might be saying, oh no, I hate math. Well, yes, there's a massive equation that you can use to calculate your calories and get your perfect exact calorie deficit. But I'm going to simplify it all the way down to a simple subtraction problem. To lose belly fat, you've got to burn more calories than you consume. So again, if you're in a calorie deficit, that means you're eating fewer calories than you're burning. The way to ensure that you're in a calorie deficit is to first determine your baseline calorie needs for the day. So before I keep going, I feel like I need to define what a calorie is. And I've said this before in previous episodes. One of the first questions I ever got with my first weight loss group was, what is a calorie? I gave them these instructions. I was like, we're going to work for a calorie deficit. And they're like, whoa, sister, what's a calorie? And then another gal commented, she's like, yeah, I don't really know what a calorie is either, which was very interesting to me because we've all heard of this word. We read it on our food, but if we don't know what it means, it's really like reading gibberish. So calorie is a unit of energy. Like a car uses gasoline. It's just fuel. I'm just going to leave it at that. But I do have a series coming up on the podcast, and it's going to be called Nutrition 101. And I'm going to be going way deep into this topic and many more general nutrition topics. It's going to kind of expand on what is a calorie. We're going to get a little deeper into the science and the chemistry, but be sure that you're on my email list. You can join the email list by going down to the show description, the show notes, and clicking on join now, join the email crew. There's a link there. I'm going to let my email list know first when those nutrition episodes are coming and what's going to be on them, because they're going to be life-changing for you guys. I want to make sure that you can get the information first thing right when I drop it. Be sure to subscribe and follow so you get notified when I drop these episodes, because you guys, getting this understanding and this knowledge under your belt, this nutrition, this baseline nutrition knowledge, is another one of the secret weapons that not only is good for weight loss, but it's for lifelong health. Let's get back to a calorie deficit. So like I said, means eating fewer calories than you're burning. The way to ensure this is happening is you need to determine what your body needs each day. So how much energy, how many calories, right? We're going to interchange there. This is the same thing. Does your body need each day just to be alive? Like just to sit in this chair and to talk to you, how many calories does my body need? So that's the first thing you need to determine. And there is an equation for that, but I'm going to simplify it for you guys. We're going to get an app. You're not going to have to worry about that right now. Again, stick around because it's kind of fun to do the math, because it makes it more real and concrete, and it makes it make sense instead of someone just sitting here telling you, oh, you need to eat in a calorie deficit. So essentially, we need to determine how much fuel our body needs just to be alive. Next, you determine the amount of the deficit you want to be in. So I'm just going to throw out a number here. So you could say, I want to be in a 300 calorie deficit. So I want to eat 300 calories less per day, or I want 300 pieces of energy less per day. So energy and calorie, right? Okay, let's just say the baseline amount of energy or the baseline amount of calories I need per day, this is just random numbers, is 2,000 calories. And I want to eat in a calorie deficit to lose weight. Well, I always recommend between a 200 and 300 calorie deficit each day to lose weight. You can go up to 500. Of course, you could go up to whatever you want, but we're talking about healthy and smart weight loss here. 500 to me is a little aggressive. especially if you're just kind of getting your feet wet on your weight loss journey. So 300 is really where I like to see. That's where I coached my clients, my students to be. But we're just going to use 300 today in this example. So my baseline for me to be alive is 2,000 calories. That means that no matter what, my body needs me to eat 2,000 calories just to be alive. I want to lose some weight. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat in a 300 calorie deficit, which means that I subtract 300 from 2,000, which you get 1,700 calories. So for me to lose weight, I would need to eat no more than 1,700 calories-ish, right? You could kind of go up and down 100 or 200 calories there. There is some wiggle room, but you really don't want to go 18, 19. You want to stick around the 1,700 calorie. This particular person, right? We're saying, I'm just trying to make the math simple. So then how would you know, right? Well, you have to track your calorie intake to make sure you maintain the calorie deficit. And the way that you do that is you look at what you're eating, you're vigilant about nutrition labels, you're eating within portion sizes, and you're literally tracking what you eat each day. It's really, really important that you do not drop below 1,200 calories per day. 1,200 calories per day is really not a lot of food, and it might seem like a big number, but when you start tracking your calories and kind of seeing what you're eating, you're going to be like, wow, that isn't a lot of calories. You can get 1,200 calories in one cheeseburger. So you're going to start to tweak what you're eating because you're like, holy cow, I can't eat my whole calorie allotment in one meal. That's not smart. That's just not going to work. You're going to get hungry again. Then you're going to overshoot your budget and you're not going to stay within your calorie deficit. What to eat and how to eat in a calorie deficit is a whole episode or 2 or 3 or 4 on its own. But for this purpose here in this episode, let's just think about the math and keep in mind that going below 1,200 calories is not ideal. It is not safe. It's not healthy. I'm very, very serious and adamant about it. If I ever had a client or a student and I saw on their meal tracker, because I used to evaluate all their daily meal trackers, which was a lot of work, but super helpful for them, I would literally call them out. I'd be like, this is not safe. You need to eat more starting right now. And I was very open about that in the very beginning is, one of the things that keeps a lot of us back is that we are under eating and then we binge later in the day. And it's important just to kind of eat throughout the day, but we don't want to heavy load with a massive breakfast. If you go to a diner and get pancakes, eggs, and bacon, I mean, you're getting close to 800, 900 calories. So it takes a little finesse and learning, but again, it's a process. These are lifestyle tweaks. It's not one and done. The other thing to mention about the number that you come up with is that your daily calorie allowance, that your baseline is unique to you. So eating in a 300 calorie deficit for someone that needs to eat 2,000 calories and then they have a 1,700 calorie a day allotment to eat, that seems reasonable. But depending on how much you weigh, how much activity you're doing, these numbers are very unique. There is no one size fits all when we're talking about eating within a calorie deficit. So it's super unique to you. And it's another big reason why you need to be very careful with fad diets and other quick fixes. There's no one size fits all when it comes to a calorie deficit. And it also makes it kind of fun, gives you the opportunity as you're tracking your food to kind of see what works for you. I did say there's no one size that fits all for a calorie deficit, but it is the one thing that does always work when we're talking about how to lose weight and what's effective weight loss and what's the golden ticket and the secret sauce to weight loss. Well, it's a calorie deficit. This is how the body loses weight, period. End of story. There is no other way. You eat a certain healthy amount of calories, less than you normally would, and your body pulls on your stored energy, which is your fat, to fuel up for the remaining needed energy for the day. Thus, you are losing weight. So amazing, right? The body is so incredible. I totally geek out about this stuff over the physiology, just nutrition in general. It's so, so cool, so interesting. And again, another driver of what inspired me to start this podcast and educate the world, because I know there is a lack of nutrition education out there, and I want to get it to you, because when you get even the tiniest understanding of nutrition, you guys, you can really become your own weight loss coach. You can take control of your eating and have huge wins, big success when it comes to weight loss goals. Another thing to kind of think about is, all the fad diets out there, even the injectables now, the Mounjaro, the Ozempics, ultimately have you losing weight through a calorie deficit. So that's why it's always funny to me when it's like, oh, this is the new fad diet to lose weight. Well, yeah, it's working because you're eating in a calorie deficit. So let's just go through a few of them for a second. Ketogenic diet is a high fat diet. Very extreme low carbs if you're doing it right. You have to even go further in your tracking. You have to track your macronutrients so you can make sure that you're eating enough fat and versus enough carbohydrate. You can overeat on a ketogenic diet. The way that a ketogenic diet works is not because you're just eating a bunch of fat and no sugar, i.e. carbohydrate all day. It's because the people that lose weight on a ketogenic diet, they're maintaining specific caloric intake. They're still tracking and maintaining some sort of calorie deficit. Intermittent fasting, you're eating less, period. Calorie deficit. Do you guys see a pattern here? With the new injectable meds, Mounjaro, Ozempic, it switches your hunger hormone signals around a little bit. So you're, eating less, calorie deficit. In bariatric surgery, or like a lap band surgery for weight loss, they're making the stomach smaller, making the opening to the stomach smaller. Why? So you get full faster. Yes, you're eating less. Guess what? That's called a calorie deficit. I think you get it. Let's do one more though. The Whole30 diet. I love this eating routine. It encourages fruits, vegetables, clean food. It's great. And it claims that you will lose weight on it. You can, but you can overeat on the Whole30 diet. The only way that you will lose weight on the Whole30 diet is if you're tracking your calories and eating in a calorie deficit. I will keep saying this. It's not the eating style that works. It's the tracking, the amount of calories that you're taking in that allows these routines to work, right? It could be any of these could work for you, but it's because you're in a calorie deficit. So I like to say, like, why do this weird, crazy, strange eating routine when I don't eat like that? Why can't I just track the foods that I like and kind of tweak them? You're going to have to tweak them a little bit because some foods are super calorie dense. Like I just give the cheeseburger example, but I don't have to make huge lifestyle eating routine changes, which are hard to do. Eating's very intimate, and it's one of those really sticky things that it can feel impossible to tweak. So I like to say, well, let's just eat what we want and track the amount that we're eating instead of some insane over the top new style of eating, which you probably won't maintain. Let's get real anyway. I already said this at the beginning of the episode, but let's remember you already have what it takes to do this. You don't need to spend $1,000 on injectable medications every month or $100 a month on a special shake. All you need is a calorie tracker. There are a million apps to download for free. My favorite, and hands down probably the most popular out there, is MyFitnessPal. It's an Under Armour branded app. It's probably the best, I would say, and you can totally use the free version. You don't need the paid one. It's simple. I've been using it for a decade, you guys. I give all my students access to use it. It's really, really great. It has other elements to it, tools, tricks, recipes on there, not just calorie tracking. It has a water tracker, it has an exercise tracker. It's super robust. The free version is killer. I'll definitely link to it down in the show notes. But you got to find something to track your food, because the tracking part is what helps you ensure that you're maintaining that calorie deficit, which ultimately is the secret sauce to your weight loss. So tracking was one of the elements I did say we needed to focus on as an element of our weight loss solution, our solution for losing belly fat. And it's a pivotal part of the process, not only because it ensures you maintain your calorie deficit, like I've already said a million times, but it guarantees weight loss. Your nutrition logs become a great source of information. You'll learn so much about yourself and what your body loves and what you like, what you don't like. You'll learn what foods really keep you full longer, which is important when we're working on weight loss. You want your foods to sustain you throughout the day. You want to learn what foods really keep you full longer, which is super important on a weight loss journey. You want to be able to find foods that you like that keep you full for longer periods throughout the day, and how your body feels with certain foods. You may even identify through this nutrition tracking foods that have been causing you other health issues, which for me, that was big. I was having some gallbladder type pain. I was having GI symptoms. And when I started to eat clean and tracking my food, I was able to identify kind of what was really triggering those symptoms. And those have really subsided for me. They're not totally gone, but I do see them peak back up if I'm not kind of eating on track the way that I found worked best for me. So it's not always about weight loss. I always say weight loss is the cherry on top. And that is what really gets me excited to share this knowledge with you, because you start focusing on eating smarter and cleaner, you start to feel better just in general. Your energy will increase. And by keeping a log, you will be able to fine tune your eating into a well-oiled routine that is customized to you. It's not your neighbors, it's not your sisters, it's not your coworkers, it's yours. And that's why it makes it easier. I hate to use the word easy because I've already said this process can be hard, but it makes it easier and more sustainable for long term because it's customized to you. It's all yours, friend. No more wondering what to eat or how much. You're building a customized plan that works for you as you track each day. And while you can lose belly fat without working out, by just eating in a calorie deficit, which I think I've hammered home by now at this point, you can optimize your efforts through an emphasis on increased daily movement. So that was the third element in my solution. So you don't need to essentially work out to lose weight. The golden ticket, the golden solution is a calorie deficit. So you could just maintain that with your eating habits. But when you do include physical fitness, especially strength training, that's my favorite. It boosts your calorie burn and tones and shapes the muscles around the tummy. We're talking about belly fat here. But when you do include physical fitness, especially strength training, it boosts your calorie burn. First of all, you burn more calories longer throughout the day after a strength training workout. And for the purposes of our topic here, belly fat, it tones and shapes the muscles around the tummy area as the fat melts away while you're eating in your calorie deficit, which is something I think we all want, right? Like, I'm raising my hand, let's do this, I'll take it. When piggybacking on eating in a calorie deficit, it actually becomes a little bit easier to eat within a calorie deficit when you're working out regularly, because you can essentially eat your full allotted calories for the day. In our example, we said the person had a 2,000 calorie baseline. That was their baseline. That's what they needed to just be alive for the day, right? And they wanted to be in a 300 calorie deficit. So they would hit 1,700 calories a day. So you could essentially either eat 300 calories less each day. That's totally doable. Or you could ensure you're working out and hitting a 300 calorie burn in your workouts. Or you can do a combo of both. Eat a little bit less and work out a little bit more. So you're hitting the 300-ish calorie deficit marker each day. This is what I recommend because leaving out fitness is like washing your hair without shampoo, in my opinion. It's just not going to work as well. And your hair just isn't going to be as shiny and healthy as it could be. Same thing with your physical body, your mental wellness. Fitness is the shampoo to your weight loss journey. It gets all sudsy and it works and it gets you clean, healthy, and shiny and strong. So don't leave out fitness. And since this episode is focused on losing belly fat, I will say again, it's not just one specific move that can get rid of belly fat, but a collective of exercises and overall consistent fitness that will blast the belly fat for good. So many times we see, do this one exercise to get rid of the mommy tummy, do this one exercise to blast belly fat or get six-pack abs. Well, anyone with six-pack abs will tell you, this is so cliche, but it's true, that their abs are built in the kitchen, first of all, and it takes multiple different moves to make sure you get those six packs because it's multiple different, it's different muscle groups, even in the core area. So we'll just squash that right there. Working out those core muscles in your lower abs and your hips not only tightens things, in your back, you guys. Now, the whole trunk, think of just like the trunk of the body, not just like your lower abs, but like the entire core. It not only tightens things up, but it helps you avoid loose skin as you shed pounds while you're eating in a calorie deficit. So you're going to get stronger, you're going to gain some muscle, so you're not going to get as much flabby skin like you would if you weren't working out. You were just eating within that calorie deficit to lose the weight. Plus, a strong core supports your entire body. It makes every movement you do easier, more efficient, reduces back pain, increases stability, and also shapes the waist of your dreams. Hello, I am singing hallelujah for that. It totally does. And there's something fun about doing an ab workout, a core workout. You just kind of feel sore and tight, and you're like, it's already working. It's like my favorite place to be sore. But it does take overall fitness. But I'm a big believer that a successful weight loss plan always includes strength training and cardio combo. So some combo of that. But in all reality, if you're just not there yet or need to take it slow, it doesn't have to be this super complicated strength training routine. You can start with something as simple as taking a walk on your lunch break at work, doing body weight exercises at home, or a daily 10-minute yoga session. So the goal here, if we're wanting to lose belly fat or wanting to lose weight, is moving your body more than you usually do day to day. So in the fitness world, that is called your day-to-day movements, just doing your regular flow. That's called your activities of daily living. So making dinner, going grocery shopping, brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, getting dressed, doing the laundry, getting in and out of your car, walking to your office, sitting at your desk, feeding the dog, picking the baby up off the ground, changing a diaper. Those are your activities of daily living. So adding more movement to that is the sweet spot. That's why you always hear so much about step count and people's stories about how they increased their step count and they lost weight through walking. Well, they also had a calorie deficit going on. We have to admit that. Like, there's always something missing in these stories, but 10,000 steps is actually quite a lot. And it's an arbitrary number that was made up when all these step counters came out. I learned that on a podcast the other day, but I actually think it's a great number to shoot for. You absolutely don't need to hit it every day. I always know when I hit 10K, I was like, wow, that was a full day. But I always say working towards the 10K is just as effective. Many people take less than 3,000 steps every day, which blows my mind. I actually did an experiment on myself. And yes, I intentionally didn't do any extra walking or working out. And I took 2,300 steps. Like, that's barely getting up. So we're all very, very sedentary just in our current culture. So think about how working your way up to 10K a day could bring in some major shifts in your calorie burn and ultimately weight loss, right? Like, it's just through walking, just moving more. I've had to be super intentional about this. If I'm watching my step count, like I said, I did the experiment. And because if I don't pay attention, I'll get dangerously close to only taking like 2,000 to 3,000 steps a day. I have to be intentional about it. Like that was my norm. And that's really like just not a lot of movement, you guys. You can imagine why the body would just start to kind of feel icky and lethargic when we're not moving like enough. All the driving I do back and forth to work, with the kids in the car, sports practice, all the sitting at work, these are areas I had to intentionally look at and change to move my life forward so I felt better. You can see, like, I'm not saying like go do a crazy CrossFit workout. I'm like, hey, let's just walk a little bit more to get some calories burned. I don't obsess over hitting 10,000 steps a day. But what I did do was I started to stand at work, right? I just keep my desk in the standing position, which allows me to move my body more. I actually just kind of pace around my office more because my chair's not there and I'm working. I might be reading something. I might just pace more than I would if I was just sitting at my desk reading an email or something like that. I take walks on my lunch. I park at the back of the parking lot from my office when I'm at the hospital. And those small tweaks, I'll definitely blast at least to 5,000 steps a day, no problem with just those small shifts. So like walking at lunch, walking to and from my car since I park far away, standing at work. That coupled with my workouts, now we're super cooking, and you would be too. So it's it's just kind of like a game. Like, how can I do this? How can I optimize so it works for me? But getting super clear and honest on how much you're really moving is important. It doesn't take much for big shifts though. So the important thing is no matter what you choose, it's gotta be consistent. And trust me, your future self will thank you so much. You'll be like, wow, I should have been walking on my lunch for decades. And it's so simple. And before I move on, you guys, I wanna challenge you. So this week, how about you move more? So how are you going to move more this week? I just want you to move more. Like maybe you do the added walk on your lunch, or maybe you park far away at the office or even at the grocery store, but just kind of be observant of how your body feels. How about challenge yourself to do a 10-minute workout from YouTube in the morning, like something simple, a body weight workout, do the lunchtime walk, like I already said, just move a little bit more than your usual activities of daily living. If you're not someone that has a regular workout routine yet, let me know how you feel after that week or two, what you noticed about your health, your body, your energy. I am betting big money that you're going to be pleasantly surprised how just that small tweak in your movement, your increased amount of movement every day is going to have major health effects and maybe a little bit of weight loss. A little bit, as always, better than zero, right? So that's your challenge for the week. I just thought that would be fun. You can always ramp up to a more robust strength training routine. You know, I run, like there's always the opportunity to progress and enhance and optimize and change and shift and get stronger. It just starts with starting to move more. And it can be through walking or just even standing while you're at work if you have that opportunity. Don't be afraid to ask for a standing desk if you don't have one. That's my other little tip for you. So you guys, let's wrap up. This is a longer podcast. Thanks for sticking with me. Remember, you've already got everything you need to lose belly fat and feel amazing. It's not pills. It's no injections. It's no funky gimmicks or shakes. It's just eating in a calorie deficit coupled with consistent fitness and a little bit of patience. You've totally got this. I know it. And if today's episode resonated with you, can you share it with a friend? Leave a review and make sure to join the email list so you are always notified when I have new great stuff coming, because my babes on the email list, they always found out first. So you want to be able to get in on the action as soon as possible. I have some really great stuff coming in 2025. And if you have questions or topic requests, you know what to do. Scroll down into the show notes and descriptions and hit the questions and topics link. You can send those through me that way. And don't forget, the fall 2024 free resource is still available for you right now. The One Healthy Action Calendar, it's totally free. It's there for you to download in the show notes and description. So thank you for being here on episode number 10. I'm celebrating and can't wait to connect with you guys again next week. Bye for now, my fabulous health hobby family. And let's make that belly fat thing a thing of the past, right? For real this time. You got this. Until next time.